Hey guys, it's Brickman117. Welcome back to the channel and phase 1 of the Ultimate Longsword build. A number of people have asked me during the Ultimate Pelican MOC how I go about planning these builds and what exactly do I do in regards to preparation. With the Pelican I did very little preparation. I've decided to do a bit more preparation with the Longsword build. My main concern was with the Pelican, the Pelican's a big fat bird. It's loads of room inside with very small wings, so it wasn't really a concern for me. The Longsword's completely the opposite. It's got a very small fuselage with ginormous wings, so my concern was that if I made the fuselage too big, I would never have enough pieces to be able to complete the wings. That may still happen, but to give myself a fighting chance, I decided to try and get some blueprints. Now I'm still working on this, but I have been able to obtain this aerial plan of the Longsword, which has already been a great help. As you can see here, what I've done is I've basically expanded it very roughly just to get it to the size I think I need it to be able to do what I want to do with this MOC. As I mentioned in my previous video, it's really important to me to have an interior on this MOC, a decent one as well. I'd really like the cockpit, cryo bay, and there are a few rooms in these ships. Because the Longsword is so huge in lore, there's lots of room inside, but unfortunately to give myself that much room, the wings would be astronomically big. So this is what I'm trying to avoid. I want it big enough to do what I want to do inside the fuselage, but no bigger than it has to be, because that just increases the wingspan, which is just going to be an absolute parts killer. So at this point I'm thinking, wow, that looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to build this MOC, whilst at the same time thinking that's way too big. I'm not going to be able to build this MOC. I'm going to run out of pieces. It's huge. I'm going to have to try and scale it down. The problem is I can't scale it down much more than this without massively compromising one of my main objectives for this build, which is to have a detailed interior. That's not really an option for me. If I put these two seats here, you can see what I mean by the space I've got available. That main front nose section is mostly the cockpit, and if you put the two seats there alongside each other, it gives you an idea. Bear in mind I've got to get walls and everything around this. There's not going to be a lot of space. You can see here the screen grab from the game. The cockpit is huge. Already that's bigger than what I'll be able to make it if I build the ship at the scale that you see on those plans that I've printed out. So I'm already compromising a lot. I would like to have it that big, but to make the cockpit that big, the ship would have to be about twice the size of what you see I've printed those plans out. There's just no way I can do that. So that's the cockpit. I'll do the best I can there. But another feature that I wanted to incorporate with this is a small cryo bay. I have read that some of these Longswords were fitted out with cryo bays depending on what missions they were going on. I just think that's a really fun thing to try and squeeze into this MOC, but as you can see by the size of the cryo tube I'm putting down, this isn't going to be easy either, but I do intend to get this in there if possible. As to where I put the cryo tubes may be decided upon where they'll fit, but my first thoughts are to put them in this room that the Chief's in now. This is it's a hallway. You can see the ramp just off to the left of the Chief here. That's where he enters the Longsword from, on the deck below at the end of the Maw level you play at the end of Halo Combat Evolved. Now the double doors behind the Chief at the moment aren't the cockpit. That's a room at the back of the Longsword, which is potentially either a wardroom or an office or something like that. I'm tempted to turn that room into some sort of armory and use this space in the middle of the ship to create into some sort of cryo bay. The two units on your left, you can just see at the very front of the image there's two what look like doors. They're either closets or lavatories. It's unknown, but I'll probably get rid of those and possibly put two cryo tubes there instead. That way I think it would be best utilizing the space. Now in regards to the ramp, that's the other complication I've got. The Longsword's supposed to be 2 decks high, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. I'm just going to have to see once I start building what sort of height I've got, what clearance I've got. If I can, then I will do 2 decks, because the rear deck could be used for storing ammunitions like the payload that the Longsword would be carrying, which would be really fun as well. It's also got the front load bay door, or the ramp that the Chief runs up at the end of that level too, as you can see here. So it'd be really fun to try and incorporate that as well. So that just about covers phase one of this build, the planning side of it. As I say, I don't usually plan, but I felt I had to do some sort of planning for this mock. So hopefully you enjoyed that insight. If there are any further questions, as always, leave them in the comments section below. And as always, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more. It does help grow the channel as well as give me more confidence that I'm doing the right thing. By the time you guys watch this video, I will be already well into phase two, putting this beast together. So we'll see you next time.